What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for those that have been sticking around. I haven't been that active in a while. Um, Update on some things. Um, so I think I got double check. So last I talked to everybody was before my rifle match that I had. And everything was going good, so I went to the match, competed in it, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was a blast. This is going to be a consistent thing now. These guys are awesome from High Plains Precision out of Colorado. They set up these matches they're just so much fun. They're just amazing. It's a good warm-up. It's a good match for anybody wanting to get into ELR or push the limits, see how good their equipment is. Absolutely phenomenal, and honestly, those guys are awesome. Entry fee, not bad. It was so much fun. I mean, yeah, the setup was fun. The weather sucked, but it was a lot of fun. I took my 6.5 PRC out there, and I actually surprised myself. I did really well. I think I placed in the top half, and this is my first ever rifle match of any sort. And this was the ELR match in crappy weather, and I'm going against guys that have these big single shot Phoenix bipod 416s, 375s, 338s. I mean, some of these guns were sweet. Then you had off the shelf guys with like Savage 110 Elite Precisions, chambered in 300 PRC, Desert Tech with 338 Lapua. It was so cool. A whole different variety of cartridges. Like I said, I took my 6.5 PRC, and I actually did well. I was the highest scoring 6.5 caliber person out there. I even beat out several 30 cals and several 338s, to say the least, and that was awesome. Definitely had me learn a few things, um, some things to work on at least, but man, that was so much fun. And there's another match that's going to be coming up in, I think they said May. It's April or May. This is going to be a 2-day one coming up, but this is out here in Wyoming. They want to do it all the time. These guys are awesome. It was great turnout. Anybody can come out there. We had 6.5 Creedmoors. We had 308 Winchesters. I mean, people were just out there to see what they could do. Targets all the way up to 2,366 yards. Absolutely phenomenal. So much fun. Weather sucked, but yeah, it was fun. So yeah, that happened, and of course we had hunting season going on too. But on another note too, during that time, I had a loss in my family. Um, my brother sadly passed away September 25th. Um, it's been a rough time. It's been really hard on all of us and the community. He was a big part of the community, and me and him were so close. It was just us growing up. I moved out here to Wyoming to be out here with him. That's how close we were. Um, you know, he was an amazing person, and it was very unfortunate. He was young. He got sick. He fought. We did everything we could, and everything possible to try and save him. He was always there for others, so it's been a hard time for that. So trying to get back in the groove of things. So I figured now's to do that. Went hunting. So far, filled 2 of the 3 tags. killed a cow elk and a whitetail buck. Nothing spectacular. It was a rough hunting season, and with the passing of my brother, it's been rough. So I've been doing contemplating, thinking, planning, research, that fun stuff, which I love doing. So still do hunting all the time, but with these matches coming up, and they're going to be more consistent and closer travels for me at least, and reached out to a few companies for sponsorships. Um, so far, it's been out of my pocket for stuff. Actually acquired Amp and Neeler, probably the best investment ever. Phenomenal. Do your research on it. It's well worth the investment. Buy once, cry once. You'll never have to worry about anything ever again, especially with annealing. Let's see. Gonna be getting a different case trimmer setup. Gonna go with the Henderson. So I've been doing research for other equipment that's kind of like, okay, should I get this first? Kind of prioritize. And then my build. So this has been a pain in my ass for a while now. This is initially what I was going to use at the ELR match. Pretty much a donor rifle. Howa 1500 long action. Decent action. I wasn't looking for anything spectacular. At the time, it was just a good deal from a buddy of mine. Just got rid of a 243 Winchester. He gave me that. And I thought, well, I could do something with it. Just having a hard time getting the barrel off. It's being a pain. I've broken 2 action wrenches trying to get it off, and it's still not off. But so I'm just gonna have to take it to a gunsmith, somebody that can get it off. But anyways, once I get that off, I'm gonna rebarrel it, put it in a MDT ESS chassis. The ACC chassis I would prefer, but they don't make one for the Howa 1500 long action, unfortunately. And I also thought about even getting a custom action, but it's just not fitting at the time right now. I think it'll serve its purpose. Be nice to get a custom action, but we'll see. But as of right now, the plan is to get that off, rebarrel it, put it in the ESS chassis. I've got all the other stuff figured out. And then I started thinking, what am I going to chamber it in? Well, that was a 7mm Remington Magnum. Okay. So it opens the doors for ELR cartridges and possibly hunting matches, depending. So I was looking at several things. I looked at 300 PRC. I have a 6.5. I looked at 338 Edge. I looked at several different cartridges that I could use with the Magnum bolt face. All those different things. And honestly, what offerings for prefits, because yes, I could send this to a gunsmith, but I would just rather order the stuff, do it here. I've already got barrel vise. I've already done prefits, especially for my Bergara. I can do it myself. I have gauges. I have that stuff. I have enough to be confident that I will install it fine. So just kind of want to limit it time-wise. I'd rather wait for it to arrive from the mail than wait for somebody to get to it and deal with it, and trying to ship it through FFL and everything, or having to drive, however far away, because being in this section of Wyoming, there's kind of limited gunsmiths around. So that's really about it. Then what do we have? Yeah, chamber. So I did some looking around. So it's going to be a pre-fit for the Howa. So here's what the plan is. I'll just list it off right now and then I'll explain. So I'm going to go with a McGowan pre-fit. McGowan barrels are good. They make them for the Howas. I could go preferred barrel blanks too, but I like McGowan's ability to do a 50% down on the barrel, because sometimes you're just not able to fork out all the money right away, which is good. I mean, 50% down, and then that takes off a huge chunk, and then when the barrel's done, you just pay the rest and you get it. It's going to be stainless steel barrel. I'm going to have the muzzle threaded so I can put a muzzle brake on it, which the muzzle brake I'm going to use is going to be more than likely it's between two of them right now. It's either going to be the Terminator TT brake, which is a DIY self-timing brake with a lock nut, or it's going to be the MDT comp brake, which I was very intrigued about because that's one of the companies I've been talking to and I love their products. I'm thinking that might be a better route. Look them up, it's good. About the same price, but I think it might be the MDT comp brake. Less concussion to the shooter, but yet the same amount of recoil reduction possibly. Or the Ty Pro 3 self-timing, because it actually beats out Terminator brakes. I've seen some videos, you can look them up. So that's what it'll be. It's going to be a 30 cal. Made that decision. I'm going with 300 Remington Ultra Mag. Here's why. McGowan offers the 300 Remington Ultra Mag chamber, match chamber. So it's a tighter neck. It's going to require neck turning. Well, why would I want to do that? Well, I have neck turning tools already. I've done neck turning. Neck turning is extremely beneficial in tight chambers, tight neck chambers, because if you know what your chamber neck diameter is, more consistent fit. It's not a SAMI spec chamber. It is tailored to that chamber. Think of it that way. It seems nonchalant, like, oh, whatever. It'll help prolong the life of your brass, and it'll actually make more consistent release of the bullet, if you know what I mean. I have no problem neck turning stuff. I'm going to get the brass. That's fine. I need consistency is key, and then it'll help with tighter groupings because of the tolerances being so much tighter and it being more consistent, and also with muzzle velocity spreads and standard deviations. So match chamber, tighter neck. That's why I'm going 300 Remington Ultra Mag match. Now, why am I doing the Ultra Mag? Well, of the 30 cals that he has, I'm going based off of this stuff and my research. I want to shoot heavy for caliber 30 cals. PRC can do it too, but the RUM can do it faster. PRC is definitely more of an efficient type cartridge, but for this purpose, I'm focused on getting the most amount of velocity out of these within reason. So if you look up Hornady's book and you pick, because I'm going to shoot 200 grain bullets. So 200 grain bullets from the 300 PRC are looking at about 3,000 feet per second. But with the 300 RUM, you're looking at about 3,150. So let's say I can get a good, consistent, very good load from the 300 RUM at 3,000 feet per second. Same as a PRC, but I am not working that brass harder. I'm not pushing it harder. I'm not wearing it out as much because it is capable of more. And 300 RUM, because it doesn't have a belted case like the Win Mag. Win Mags are good, but I just don't see it using a belted case. I just don't. So that's the plan. It's gonna be a 1 in 9 twist because McGowan offers cut rifling. Cut rifling, I think, will benefit tight neck chamber. Cut rifling, they say, is inherently more accurate. I think there's just more attention to it in the process, combined with tight neck chamber. And then the bullets I'm going to use are going to be the cutting edge laser bullets, the 200 grain. The reason I'm doing 200 grain is it's the heaviest one I can get with a 1 in 9 twist barrel. I could get a faster twist barrel, but it would not be cut rifling from McGowan. So I'm trying to keep this, I'm weighing out all the pros and cons. I've been doing this for a little while. So that's what it's going to be, is the 300 Remington Ultramag match chamber, 200 grain cutting edge laser bullets, which lasers phenomenal. I've already used them. I got 6.5 caliber lasers. They're phenomenal. They are expensive, but they are worth it if you are solely focusing on most consistent for ELR. If you're just plinking or just out shooting around and you just want to waste all that money, that's fine, but they're for the people with OCD and attention to detail. So, and also too, the reason why tight neck chamber too is, and neck turning, I will have more consistent neck tension if all of the necks are uniform and the same. And not only that, when the neck is opening, when you fire the round, it is only going to go so far. So tighter clearances, more consistency. Because out there, past 1,500 yards, 2,000 yards, once you get past 2,000, even at some of these matches, if you have your extreme spread like 15, 20 feet per second, which is still good, but it can show out there at distance, and you want to get as low as you can. So that's what that's going to be. And then I'm also going to rebarrel my 6.5 PRC Bergara. For training purposes and having more ammunition available, I'm going to rechamber for 308 Winchester, and here's how I can do it. My Bergara has interchangeable bolt head. I just have to buy the standard base, the one for 308 Winchester. I think it's like 470 or something. Get a pre-fit barrel, which is also going to have a match chamber too. It's going to be from Preferred Barrel Blanks. This way, I can still practice my low development for the rum, what to look for and what to test. With the 308, very accurate ammunition, very accurate. 308's everywhere, and the barrel life is a lot longer. And I can go hunting with it. I already have my 308 Winchester suppressor. It's going to be very, very, very nice, and can just constantly get out there and train and shoot, because some of these cartridges, even 6.5 PRC, they're not cheap to shoot. Components for these exotic cartridges is so hard to find, which is understandable because they are very sought after. They're very good. They're very nice. But more time on a gun, the better. More training, more dry firing, constantly, more. Practice makes perfect. The more time you spend, the more like second nature it will feel, and it'll be so much better. So that'll be it for now. Stay tuned for more.